Welcome and thank you for joining us. Today, we gather to honor six extraordinary American legends whose lives have left an indelible mark on the world of arts and culture. These people didn't just create, they inspired, blazed new trails, and gave us moments that will last a lifetime. Their talent, tenacity, and endless passion touched millions, changing not only the industry, but the very essence of how we experience art and creativity. Today, we will remember their achievements, their incredible stories, and the influence that lives on, inspiring new generations. This is not just a remembrance, it is a celebration of their lives, their great legacies that will stay with us forever, reminding us how art has the power to unite, inspire, and change our world. Please support us by liking and subscribing to join us in honoring these extraordinary individuals. Together, let's celebrate their greatness and their legacy, which will continue to inspire us in the future. Silvia Pinal, a legendary actress of Mexican cinema, theater, and television, the last of the great divas of the golden age of Mexican cinema, died on November 28, 2024, at the age of 93. Her death was a great loss for the cultural life of Mexico and the world. Shortly before her death, Pinal was hospitalized with a urinary tract infection, which complicated her condition. Born September 12, 1931 in Guaymas, Sonora, Mexico, her career began in the theater, where she demonstrated her outstanding acting skills. In 1949, she made her film debut and her career took off. Silvia starred in more than 100 films, becoming one of the most popular and talented actresses of her time. Some of Pinal's most iconic works were the films she made in collaboration with cult director Luis Buñuel. The films Viridiana, 1961, The Exterminating Angel, 1962, and Simeon Stylites, 1965, not only cemented her status as a great actress, but also brought her international recognition. These films have become classics of world cinema, and Pinal has become a symbol of Mexican art. In addition to her work in cinema, Silvia has achieved great success in television and theater. She has also distinguished herself as a producer, making a significant contribution to the development of the Mexican cultural scene. Her popularity and authority have made her one of the most influential women in art and society. In 1997, Pinal was elected as a senator, and from 1991 to 1994, she served as a federal deputy. She was active in political life, promoting cultural issues and the protection of women's rights. Her contribution to social activities made her an example for many generations. In her personal life, Silvia was married 4 times and had 4 children, including actress Silvia Pascal and singer Alejandra Guzman, who continued her creative legacy. Her family remains an important part of the Mexican cultural scene, continuing the work of their famous mother. After her death, the Mexican Ministry of Culture expressed its deepest condolences, highlighting her contribution to the arts. On November 30, 2024, a farewell ceremony was held at the Palace of Fine Arts in Mexico City, where colleagues, friends, and fans paid tribute to the great actress. Silvia Pinal left behind a rich legacy that will inspire new generations of artists. Her multifaceted talent, dedication to art, and cultural influence made her an icon whose name will forever remain in the memories of those who appreciated and loved her work. Earl Holliman, a talented American actor, known for his iconic roles in film and television, Holliman passed away on November 25, 2024, at the age of 96. His death occurred in the hospice care of his home in Studio City, California. Holliman left a lasting legacy in the entertainment world, becoming one of the most respected figures in Hollywood. Born on September 11, 1928, in Delhi, Louisiana, Earl faced many challenges in his early years, but his determination allowed him to overcome all obstacles. His acting career began in 1953 when he made his debut in the comedy film Scared Stiff. His real success came in 1956, when he landed a role in The Rainmaker, which earned him a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor. This success made Holloman one of the most sought-after stars of his time. That same year, he starred in the cult science fiction film Forbidden Planet, which became a classic of the genre. Holloman also became a significant figure in television. His appearance in the first episode of the famous show The Twilight Zone in 1959 was highly praised by critics and audiences. From 1974 to 1978, he played Lieutenant Bill Crowley in the popular series Policewoman, where his partner was Angie Dickinson. This series cemented his reputation as a versatile and charismatic actor. His contribution to the film industry was recognized by a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1977. In addition to his acting, Earl Holliman was known for his activism. He served as the president of Actors and Others for Animals for over 25 years, actively involved in animal welfare. Holliman was known for his kindness and concern for nature, as well as his dedication to social causes. He also served as the honorary chairman of the charity Toys for Tots, further highlighting his commitment to helping others. Earl Holliman left behind a legacy of both art and social activism. His partner, Craig Curtis, confirmed his passing, noting that Holliman was not only an outstanding actor, but also a man with a big heart. His name will forever remain in the history of cinema and in the hearts of those who knew him personally or were inspired by his work. Elwood Edwards, the iconic voice of the internet age, known for the phrase, "You've got mail," Edwards died on November 25, 2024, at the age of 74. His voice, emblematic of the 1990s and the early internet, left an indelible mark on digital culture. The cause of death was complications from a stroke. Edwards passed away at his home in New Bern, North Carolina, just one day before his 75th birthday. Born November 6, 1949, in Glen Burnie, Maryland, Elwood was fascinated by radio and television from an early age, beginning his career as a newscaster and weather presenter. His defining moment came in 1989, when his wife Karen, who worked for what would later become AOL, suggested he record a few short audio clips. The recordings, made on a cassette recorder in their living room, included phrases such as, "Welcome," "You've got mail," "Files done," and "Goodbye." The phrase, "You've got mail," quickly became an AOL signature phrase and was the one that greeted millions of users when they received new messages. Edwards' voice became so recognizable that it inspired the title of the 1998 romantic comedy You've Got Mail, starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. For many, his voice became a symbol of the early internet era, evoking a sense of nostalgia for the early days of digital communications. In addition to his work with AOL, Edwards continued his career in television, holding positions as a graphics supervisor and cameraman at WKYC-TV in Cleveland. In 2016, he became a viral sensation when it was revealed that he was driving for Uber. Many passengers were pleasantly surprised to hear him say the famous line. Elwood Edwards not only left his mark on the digital world, but also became a symbol of human connection in an era when technology began to connect people around the world. His voice will remain part of the collective memory, reminding us of the beginning of the digital revolution. His family and fans noted that his life was an example of humility, talent, and the ability to become the voice of an entire generation. John Barbata, legendary American drummer, who left a deep mark on the history of rock music, passed away on December 1, 2024, at the age of 79. His unique style and outstanding craftsmanship made him an indispensable part of such iconic bands as the Turtles, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Jefferson Airplane, and Jefferson Starship. His contribution to the development of rock music was enormous, and his work continues to inspire musicians around the world. Born April 1, 1945 in Passaic, New Jersey, Barbada's musical career began in California, where he played in high school bands. In 1966, he joined the Turtles, becoming part of the team that recorded hits such as Happy Together, Eleanor, and She'd Rather Be With Me. His work with the group earned him recognition and appearances on popular television shows such as The Ed Sullivan Show and American Bandstand. In 1969, Barbada joined Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young and made history by performing with the band at the legendary Woodstock Festival. He also contributed to the album Deja Vu, 1970, one of the most important in the history of rock music. His contributions to the band were recognized by critics and fans, cementing his status as one of the leading drummers of his time. In the 1970s, Barbada joined Jefferson Airplane and then Jefferson Starship, where his playing graced albums such as Long John Silver, 1972, and Red Octopus, 1975. His work with these groups marked a new stage in his career, cementing his status as one of the most versatile musicians of the era. John's personal life has been filled with joy and tragedy. In 1981, he married artist Angela Evans. The couple had a daughter, Leah, in 1987, who also became interested in music. After his wife's death from cancer in 2016, Barbada continued to perform and maintain a connection with music, often collaborating with former colleagues and his daughter. John Barbada will be remembered as a drummer who not only mastered his instrument, but also brought soul and passion to every composition. His legacy will live on in the music he created and in the hearts of the fans who were inspired by his talent and dedication to the art. Peter Sinfield, the legendary British poet, songwriter, and one of the founders of progressive rock, passed away on November 14, 2024, at the age of 80. His name will forever be linked to the history of music, thanks to his unique contribution to the creation and development of a genre that changed the perception of rock music. Born on December 27, 1943 in London, Peter showed an interest in literature and art from an early age. This interest led him to a career in music when he co-founded King Crimson with guitarist Robert Fripp in 1968. It was Sinfield who came up with the band's name and wrote the lyrics for their first 4 albums, including the iconic In the Court of the Crimson King, 1969. His poetic style, filled with surreal imagery and philosophical themes, became a hallmark of King Crimson, particularly on tracks such as 21st Century Schizoid Man and The Court of the Crimson King. After leaving King Crimson in 1971, Peter continued to have a successful career in music. He collaborated with Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, writing lyrics for their songs Pirates and Still You Turn Me On. In 1973, he released his solo album Still, which showed him as a versatile artist and composer. In the 1980s and 1990s, Sinfield continued his work with a variety of artists, including Cher, Bucks Fizz, and Celine Dion. He wrote the English lyrics for her hit Think Twice, which confirmed his ability to adapt to different musical styles and industry demands. His work spanned genres from progressive rock to pop, making him one of the most sought-after songwriters of his time. Sinfield was not only a great poet, but also a man whose work continued to inspire millions. His ability to create lyrical masterpieces and convey deep emotions through words made his name synonymous with quality and creativity in the music world. Peter Sinfield left behind a rich legacy that continues to inspire new generations of musicians and fans. His death was a huge loss to the music community, but his work will live on forever as part of rock history. Phil Lesh, bass guitarist extraordinaire and founding member of the legendary Grateful Dead, passed away on October 25, 2024, at the age of 84. His passing was a tremendous loss to the music world, where he left an indelible mark with his innovative approach to performance and composition. Born on March 15, 1940 in Berkeley, California, Phil was fascinated by music from an early age. His path began with studying classical violin, and then he moved on to the trumpet, playing in school orchestras. However, his passion for free jazz and classical music became the key factor in defining his unique style. A fateful meeting with Jerry Garcia in the early 1960s led Lesh to join the band The Warlocks, later renamed The Grateful Dead. Remarkably, Lesh had never played bass guitar before joining the band. However, his virtuosity quickly emerged, and he became known for his melodic and complex playing style, inspired by classical and jazz traditions. As a member of the Grateful Dead, Phil Lesh helped shape the band's iconic sound. His bass playing not only supported the rhythmic foundation, but also actively interacted with the melodic lines, creating unique improvisations. Compositions such as Box of Rain, on which Lesh performed not only as a bassist but also as a writer, became an integral part of the band's musical legacy. After the Grateful Dead disbanded in 1995 following the death of Jerry Garcia, Lesh continued his career by founding Phil Lesh and Friends. The project became a platform for collaboration with various musicians and exploration of new musical directions. In 2012, Lesh opened the Terrapin Crossroads Music Club, which became a meeting place for fans and a hub for musical activity. Phil Lesh has faced serious health challenges. In 1998, he underwent a liver transplant due to a chronic hepatitis C infection. In the following years, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer and bladder cancer. Despite these challenges, he continued to perform and share his music, inspiring fans with his courage and dedication to the art. Lesh is survived by his wife Jill and two sons, Graham and Brian, who shared his passion for music and often shared the stage with him. His contributions to rock music and innovative approach to bass guitar have made his name synonymous with creativity and innovation. Phil Lesh will forever be remembered as a musician whose art broke down genres and brought people together. His legacy will live on in the music of the Grateful Dead and in the hearts of fans around the world. Kevin Owen McCarthy, a famous American politician, whose career has been tied to the most critical moments of modern American politics, found himself at the epicenter of scandals and political upheavals that shook not only his life, but the entire U.S. political system. His story is a tale of rise and fall, of the desire for power and how fragile even the most influential person's position can be. Born January 26, 1965 in Bakersfield, California, Kevin McCarthy showed an interest in politics from an early age. Growing up in an ordinary family, his path to the heights of power was not easy. He began his career by participating in local Republican organizations, where his talent for persuasion and strategic thinking quickly earned him respect. McCarthy managed to rise through the party ranks, taking key positions that prepared him for the role of one of the major players in American politics. However, everything changed in January 2023, when, after long and difficult negotiations, McCarthy was finally elected Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. This position is one of the most powerful in the American political system. McCarthy was in the spotlight, making decisions that directly affected millions of Americans. His support for Donald Trump, as well as controversial statements on the budget and military aid to Ukraine, drew criticism, but also strengthened his position among the conservative wing of the Republican Party. But the political success was short-lived. In October 2023, something happened that no one expected. McCarthy became the first speaker in U.S. history to be removed from office through a vote. This move, initiated by his fellow party members, was a shock to the American political elite. The reason was the growing dissatisfaction with his leadership, including his ability to negotiate with the Democratic Party and maneuver in the conditions of deep divisions within the Republican Party. Having lost his job as Speaker, McCarthy found himself in a dire situation. The political career he had spent decades building seemed to be in tatters. Even more tragically, he was now facing serious personal difficulties. Sources say McCarthy was losing support even among his closest allies, and his health, weakened by constant stress, was in jeopardy. McCarthy reportedly suffered a serious nervous breakdown after his suspension, forcing him to temporarily withdraw from public life. He found himself isolated, far from the political arena where he had once been a key figure. Fans and supporters began to wonder, will Kevin McCarthy be able to return? Kevin McCarthy's story is as much about human vulnerability as it is about politics. His rise to power, his dramatic fall, and his struggle to recover leave open the question, can he ever find his place in the world he once called his own?